Hello and welcome to Lorbek Luxury Cars. I'm Harry and today I have the very great pleasure to present to you the 2015 Ferrari California T. The update of the original California, which was introduced in 2008, this generation not only has a few minor facelifts, but more importantly under the bonnet has the update generation 3.9 litre twin turbo V8, which produces a whole 74 kilowatts more than the previous 4.3 litre. Now you might be going, oh, twin turbo, that's going to make a big difference for the noise that comes out of here. Well, does it? Let's put it to the test. Few people realise how important this California is in the Ferrari family. The California was the first front-engine V8 Ferrari, the first Ferrari to have a 7-speed double-clutch gearbox, the first Ferrari with multi-link rear suspension, the first Ferrari with direct fuel injection, and most importantly in this model, the first to introduce a full metal folding roof. People often accuse the California T of being the soft Ferrari, the slightly limp-wristed Ferrari, but the reality couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, the California T with its 3.9 litre twin turbo V8 gets from 0 to 100 in just 3.6 seconds. And it has all the technology and bits and pieces you see in the 458, plus a few little bits more. And with that optional sports exhaust, it sounds phenomenal. Just have a listen to it. Oh, how good is that? But let's not get away from the fact that the California nameplate is steeped in Ferrari history. Debuting in the 1950s was a 250 California, an exotic convertible for wealthy American buyers, particularly on the West Coast. The limited edition California was built with the same mechanical underpinnings from the 250 GT Tour de France. Combining this highly successful race car pedigree with the style and luxury of a GT convertible meant that California would be cemented as one of, if not the greatest convertibles of all time. Originally fitted with a 177 kilowatt 3 litre V12, the California was so highly prized that original examples today go for well over $15 million. And many now push the $20 million barrier. The California nameplate was put to rest for a number of years until 1966 when Ferrari produced just 14 examples of the 365 California. Each example was hand-built and totally bespoke. So much so that if a body panel was ever damaged, a whole new one would have to be made, because each one was a slightly different size from car to car. Not that you could necessarily pull a door off another example, since there were only 14 ever made. But fast forward to 2009 when Ferrari relaunched the California nameplate with the early example of what we are driving today. Like I mentioned, the California was a revolutionary car for Ferrari and introduces countless innovations. But at its heart was the practicality and comfort of a DB9 or SL Mercedes, but with the flair, passion, joy, and all the other eye-wateringly painful cliches that a Ferrari enthusiast will bore you to death with. So, is this a proper California, I hear you ask? The California nameplate is perfectly suited to this car. Yes, it's a bit softer than a 458, but who cares? It still sounds like a Ferrari, it still goes like a Ferrari should, it does all the things a Ferrari should do, and all the things a 458 does. Plus, as a bonus, it has that sports exhaust, so it sounds just phenomenal. Oh, yes. And even though I'm a massive 458 fan, it's the very things that make the 458 so special, which make it really not a particularly good car to drive every day. I mean, it's too low, it's too noisy, it's too cramped, it's a bit uncomfortable. And it's the very essence of the California nameplate, which makes this car so special. It's not hard, it's not too firm, it rides beautifully, and it still goes like a Ferrari should. It's perfect. So yes, it may not be as good, for lack of a better word, as a 458, but if I had to choose between this or the 458 to drive for anything longer than 5 minutes on the road, what would I choose? I wouldn't even give it a moment's thought. And I've always been a massive fan of the Ferrari California, but the T just takes the very good bits about the California and makes it so much better. And for all you California knockers out there is a saying that rings very true to this car. Don't knock it until you've tried it. I mean, just have a look around and tell me that this car isn't something special. I mean, have a look at all the carbon fibre and the hand-stitched Italian leather. and all this amazing technology. I mean, this has got everything you can think of, and not only just Bluetooth stream. You've got CarPlay, you've got a proper sat nav, you've got front and rear camera systems, you've got all the parking sensors, you've got all the buttons which do a whole variety of things. Stop, start. And with all the luxuries it's got, it doesn't feel special for just a Ferrari, which historically have been a bit average inside. This feels as good as a Bentley or a Mercedes. It's such a nice place to be. So if you had the money and don't believe me, come down to Lorbek Luxury Cars with a check for $249,990 so you can buy the cheapest and best looking California T in Australia. Because if you do, I promise you, you'll be going home with it. See you next week.